I'm Selene Weiss reporting for Kids First. Today, I have the pleasure to speak with actor Taylor Gray about his new film, High Expectations. He is best known for his recurring role playing Ezra Bridger in the television series Star Wars Rebels. You may also have seen Taylor Gray on 911 or In the Wheel. Welcome, Mr. Gray.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
I really love the inspirational messages and high expectations. Did that influence you being interested in becoming involved in this film?
Absolutely. That's a really big part of the film is the theme that we deal with, which is overcoming obstacles, and it's sort of David versus Goliath, and it's a true underdog story. And so I think there's a lot to connect with there for a lot of people, and I hope most of the people who watch it find these themes relatable and can connect with Jack, and hopefully encourages them to continue to pursue their dreams.
Yeah, I can totally agree. And I felt the messages as I was watching the film myself.
Oh, very cool. I'm glad you saw that, because while there is a big theme, which is like trying to live up to the expectations that your parents set for you, or any role model, I guess, or even yourself, and trying to achieve those, there's also one of never giving up and continuing to pursue your dreams. And so I think a lot of people will find something in there that they can connect with.
I enjoy watching the interaction between the various cast members and social groups in this film because the dialogue feels very real. What was your relationship like with your fellow cast members, both on and off the camera?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. We definitely connected on and off set. It was funny because we shot this during the pandemic, during COVID, and so that's different than shooting a movie outside of it, because everyone has masks on, and in between every take, people are separated and there's different groups. And normally on a set, it's very collaborative and very social. Everyone's together, and so the way we did this, we had to kind of be in little bubbles. Uh, Often, but it worked out where when we were in scenes, we just connected very quickly, and the dialogue, like you said, was written well for us to kind of sink our teeth into, and it was fun, especially having the dynamic of like some people in the film. It was their first film, like Briana Scurry. She's a soccer player and known for her prowess on the pitch. And also, Brooke is a singer, and an amazing singer, very accomplished. And so it was cool to have sort of fresh eyes on set and to see the movie making process again through them.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have even known that it was filmed during quarantine with the dynamic and what was going on between the characters. It felt so real watching it.
That's awesome. I'm glad. That's always our goal as artists, is to sort of imitate life and be a reflection for things that people are going on, while telling stories that encourage and entertain and make you question. And so if you don't believe what's going on, it makes it a little bit tougher. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to buy into it.
The storyline of this film is about a professional soccer player. Did you have a background playing soccer before you took on this role?
Yeah, I played soccer fairly competitively growing up, but I stopped at about the high school level, and I had other friends that continued on and played at the college level. And so when I got this film, I called all of my buddies up who had played and asked if they could just meet me at the field anytime they were free. And so for about 2 to 3 months before the film, we really just worked out, got our touch back, learn different techniques, and made it possible so that we could film these scenes and be comfortable even while we're acting and portraying a character.
Thanks. I love hearing about your preparation for this role.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember watching movies growing up with my brother. I'm a big fan of sports movies, and when the sports seemed fake, where it was just like an actor who's say they're playing basketball, and we're like, oh, you could tell they've never touched a basketball, but they're doing their best. I really wanted it to be something where it seemed real, that you could believe that this was a professional soccer player. And so we put a lot of time in, and it was fun.
Briana Scurry is a legendary U.S. goalkeeper. World Cup champion, and two-time Olympic gold medalist. What was it like working with such an iconic legend?
It was amazing. I mean, you just listed out some of her accomplishments. She's done so well for herself and is really, really cool as a person. So sweet. But you can see behind her eye that she has that sort of boldness to be great. I mean, she's one of the best at what she did. And so to work with her in the field that she was in, it was funny because I was playing a professional soccer player, but I'd never been a professional soccer player. So she was the one with all the experience. And so little things like, oh, how do they do this in a locker room? Or what is the appropriate thing on the sidelines here? It was really cool to ask her and get her honest opinion. And there's a fun fact that in the scene at halftime of, I won't give all of it away, but of one of the games when it's very contentious and the tension is high, and she comes in and delivers a speech to the team, she actually reworked that and wrote in a lot of lines that she said she had heard her coaches tell her in the locker room. So it was cool to see her channel her past and bring her history to this film.
What is your favorite scene in the movie? And please explain why.
Oh wow. I might have to mention a couple just because thinking of one is a little tough. Selfishly, I love the scene with Jack and his dad, with Kelsey Grammar in his study, because to me it really is the emotional heartbeat of the film, and it's the reason why we're there and why Jack feels how he does, and we understand him hopefully and empathize with him. That his father just he feels he's been done wrong by him, and so when that happens, we sort of side with Jack, and just that scene, the emotional aspect of it, I was I was really channeling different things in my life with other people who I just want to tell them how I feel and ask for basically forgiveness. And so that scene as an actor was very fulfilling. But then the soccer was so fun. And so the climactic scene on the pitch, the whole buildup of the final game, it's hard to not love that and think back so fondly on all the experiences we had there. But then also there's a scene where Allie sings in Spanish to my character Jack, and it's just so beautiful. And I remember really reveling in that and thinking, oh, this is an amazing moment.
The locker room scene was actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie. With your dad, and I love how he came as your father instead of your coach. And the dynamic that was going on between the characters, it felt so real watching it.
It was very real, and like you said, it was a shift in the dynamics, and it was cool because classic locker room scenes you see one way, the way we were talking with like Briana Scurry, but then that was a different one where it's a father just talking to his son, and I think everyone can relate to that. Everyone's had the car ride home with one of their parents where they just are open up and vulnerable about whatever it might be, and so it was really cool to tackle that scene.
Sibling rivalry is a big part of this movie. And you have two siblings who are also actors. Were you able to draw from your own family experiences for this role?
Yeah, it's funny. Our family is very, very tight knit and very loving and supportive, and so there really hasn't been too much rivalry within our professional lives. I think we've all tried to help each other and encourage each other and lift everybody up. But between my brother and I, we definitely are competitive when it comes to sports. And I mean, my entire family, even on game nights, if we're playing Uno, everyone desperately wants to win and it gets very competitive. But at the end of the day, it's very loving. So I didn't channel as much the family dynamic as some of the dynamics I have with other people in my life.
What message do you hope the audience will take away from watching this film?
I really hope that the audience is inspired and that walking out of the theater, they feel encouraged to continue to pursue their dreams or think about the steps they need to take to just further themselves a little bit more and that they feel emboldened to not give up even when it gets tough and to not take no as an answer. And I just think of myself when I watch certain films and I come out of films of this ilk. I always love when I feel recharged and I feel like, okay, cool, now it's my turn. And so I hope that is the message that everyone leaves with.
Thank you, Taylor Gray, for speaking with me today about your leading role as Jack Davis in High Expectations, which premieres exclusively in theaters April 7th, 2022, for a one-night-only special event. Don't miss your opportunity to view this uplifting film. That's a wrap. I'm Selene W, reporting for Kids First. Please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss my next interview or review and those of our many other talented Kids First reporters. Bye now.